We've done it.
Okay, we did it. We did it.
There we go.
Timing, with timing and precision. We've
Yes.
done it. I see myself
it.
twice and on a slight delay, but hey, you know what? That's fuck it.
Okay,
Betches, Wheezy,
yeah.
hello. Nice to officially meet
Hey.
you guys. So,
Hey, guys.
It was good to meet you too. So I first found out about you because, like, you know, you go into your analytics and it tells
Right.
you who people follow you in common.
yes.
So like you were like, we shared like massive viewership in common.
So,
like, wait, like it was like 50%, and then everyone else was like less than like 1%. So I was like, well, what the fuck does that mean?
and I can't find any viewers that like view us both. Like I've been asking everybody. So unless it's people who
Really?
just don't talk to me or they're like lurking or something.
I don't know. Oh, I just got someone who says, I don't know if you can see our thing, but he's like, yo, how's it going? Wait, is this Twitch Mr.Bones? And it was like, oh, sweet. I followed him a while ago. Sweet person.
Who is that?
So it's Skull Salad. Shout out Skull Salad.
I don't
boy.
know if I recognize that. Okay. Yeah,
He follows
no.
you.
It's
Or
cool.
he could be lying, I don't know.
That's good. Scully. Okay, Sunshine knows who that is. Okay. Okay, so we have like a weird I know someone who knows you. And
Yeah,
they're
so,
okay.
The question at hand would be, why? What do you do? I have no idea what you do. Personally, we just do political commentary most of the time. Like, usually talk about ethics.
Caught the thing with
politics.
Destiny. I watched the whole thing. That was fun.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
so nervous.
Fuck.
Like, I'm not nervous now, like, but goddamn, like,
Yeah, if you
fucking-
do the wrong thing, you could have like 1,000+ people up your ass any second. And you did have people in your chat room being assholes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like-
it was fucking. It's so gnarly with Destiny, especially because like, he's very precise, but he's unforgiving.
Yeah.
So like, if you play by the rules like of debate, it'll be fine, and he'll be completely respectful. And I think I toted that line, but I was like so like nervous that like it sort of made it like kind of shaky.
Yeah,
But-
it seemed like you were a little reluctant to give pushback a few times, where I could see in you that you disagreed or wanted to, but you were just like, okay, yeah, let's move on. He's wanting to move on from this. We'll just kind of, and like, yeah, like that's intimidating to have to deal with,
Well,
with
actually,
that audience.
like, okay, so like, sorry, like I have to like
Yeah.
jump on it a little bit.
Yeah,
So that's true. So I've got a lot of feedback that was my problem, is that like I didn't provide pushback. And like I see that where that like that view would come from, because I would oftentimes be like, yeah, okay, I agree with that.
because there
or
were
I see
times.
that,
I guess let me clarify real quick. There were definitely times where I think you did, and it was other times where I feel like, okay, he's hesitating here. So it wasn't that
Okay.
I felt like you didn't at all. You definitely did. On the things that you were bringing to the table that you wanted to discuss, you gave pushback. But like as you'd kind of go on side routes and stuff, is where you'd be like, I don't really have sure footing here. Like where I could see you might not agree with the point. You'd just be like, okay, yeah, let's get back to kind of the plan here. Which, yeah, stick to the plan, especially if you're nervous. But
yeah. But there was some things like, because so like I have a long history of watching Destiny's videos, part of why I was so nervous. And so like on a lot of like the egoist shit that I ended up making concessions that sounded insane, because this is kind of only tangentially related, but it's impossible to argue against egoism. I mean,
yeah, I mean, if
for
someone's
various
just
reasons. So like if he ascribes to some position that's an egoist position,
Like ethical
there's nothing I can
egoism,
do.
that is.
Yeah.
No, well,
Yeah.
not. I mean, descriptive. Like he said, he didn't care about
Right.
Normative claims. He only is providing a description of how humans form ethics. In fact, I'm like, okay, I can't argue with that. There's literally
Yeah.
no way to argue with that.
Well, so the issue with egoism is that it basically is negating the idea of ethics. You know, it's saying, well, I'm not engaging in an ethical conversation. and yet it somehow makes its way into ethical discussions, and it just doesn't have a place there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe it's because I feel like the point I get of egoism is that because everything boils down to like what's going on in my brain and just electricity, then I can't say that there are any true good or bad things in reality. Is that what I'm together?
Yeah, I mean, well, so like I ascribe to that position, but more specifically, egoism is the belief that all moral statements come down to or ethical egoism at least, it come down to like what I like my preferences. Like I'm just trying to maximize my preferences.
Right.
It would be like an egoist position.
Which is like a game theory kind of stance.
Yeah, it's definitely related to that. But like I'm just like a normal run-of-the-mill moral relativist who just thinks that morality obviously isn't objective, like it doesn't exist externally, but it's nonetheless important. And
yeah, it's a useful tool.
A lot of things are social constructs like gender.
Yeah.
And it's still important and part of our everyday life. Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't think we ever got quite to what is it that you do? Sorry, what was your name again?
That's true.
I'm Mr. Bones. I'm Garrett is my real name. I do just chatting. I sit around and I just talk all day. And I think that the audience that I've built around me has kind of been through being excessively open and honest and like talking about traumas that happened to me as a kid and crying on stream and just being like, I don't give a fuck like what position you see me in because this is who I am, you know? And it's attracted a lot of weird, fucked up people who are like, hey, someone else who's going through X, Y, or Z. Like, how do you deal with it? And I'm like, I don't deal with it. I want to die as well. Get to tomorrow. Like, that's all we can do. And like, I'm pretty pessimistic about things, or maybe nihilistic about things, but I do try and push people a lot towards mental health care, towards oh boy, one argument I've been having, not argument, but discussion I've been having with people a lot is about pharmaceuticals for mental health, and the back and forth argument that is, where it's like, but they're bad for you in the long run. It's like, yeah, but if they stop you from killing yourself, then you kind of needed it. And it's like and so we have those kind of discussions. We talk about things like gender as much as we can. You know, we're mostly all cis people on my channel. I think we have a couple people who are trans who have kind of chimed in their opinions. The main thing I feel like I have solid ground to talk about is toxic masculinity. Where I'm like, I have definitely been fucking victimized to shit by that. And I've been on both ends of it. I've engaged in it to try and escape the bullying. Was like, I can pretend to be masculine. I can cut my hair short and pick on somebody and, you know, wear normal clothing. And I've gone back and forth. And that's why eventually I look like this. Now I'm 32 and I'm just like, I don't care anymore. Like, and people jump in my chat and make fun of me. I'm like, God, it feels like fucking high school again. Like, this is so stupid.
For real.
So hearing your whole story there of your Twitch, I got a lot of questions. How long have you been doing it, number one?
So I technically used to stream about 3 years ago. I streamed a shit ton of Magic the Gathering online. And and that really, I got followers, but no subscribers, no anything. Just people would just sit there and silently watch, because I would stream a lot of times with no camera, just music and fucking Magic cards. Here you go. And so I got to affiliate really fast, but that did nothing for me. And then I'd pop on every now and then and whatever. So about a month ago is when I really in earnest started coming on every day, spending more than a few hours on every day. And since then, I've only taken 3 days off in the last month.
Awesome. So
really? A month ago?
Yeah. You're saying that...
oh, wow. Things are going really well for you.
Yeah.
I mean...
Things are going well.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
So you're saying that a lot of your stream is about mental health and your own personal experience with mental health. Would you say that streaming, having this platform, talking to other people, having people respond, is that helpful, or is it more of a chore, or is it more of a total negative thing?
So
or is it counterproductive?
I think that it totally is. The end is probably a result a lot of your personality type and how the two mix together. Because I think there's a lot of people who want to stream, and then those people are of a variety of types. Streaming affects a lot of people with the same kind of, that you're going to get the same thing from streaming. You're going to get trolls, you're going to get assholes, you're going to get people who abuse, like, everything you set up in some way is going to get abused in some way. People are going to send you your address to show you they know where you live. Like, random ass shit. Where you're
we banned more people than probably we have followers. We've banned so many people.
So we have created a rule system around here. First of all, pretty much everyone who hangs out for longer than a few days becomes a moderator in my channel, and none of them have been a problem. Really? And I leave all of them that way, because that way, if pretty much any of them are on, they kind of, my regulars, they have watched out for me. And all of them at first were like, I'm hesitant. I don't know what you want to do. I saw the person was being a dick, but I didn't know. And I'm like, dude, pull the trigger first, ask questions later. Like, I would much rather send someone a message after the stream and be like, hey, I went back and watched the vid. I saw what you said. You didn't deserve to get banned. I'm sorry. Than have to deal with someone ruining the night for everyone over the course of 5 minutes because they're that good of a troll. And we've had people who've been like deep trolls, where they pretend to be normal people and get into the Discord and get into the channels and then go crazy. And so I think that these things are something that someone with a mental illness in particular, depending on the mental illness, is going to have a lot of problems dealing with. If you are paranoid,
would you self-identify somebody with a proclivity to that, or would you say that you're relatively capable of dealing with that sort of thing?
You don't have to answer that question.
No. The question really is just how it's impacting you. Do you think the stream?
Yeah, I was at first very negatively impacted by sitting around with no one to talk to in the stream running, and basically every now and then someone would pop in and insult me. And it would be like, oh, great, another one of those, boop. So after that, I started trying to get a lot of my real life friends to come hang out on Twitch and just chat with me. And that meant that when other people were showing up, they kind of got a sense of my personality for a second, and then they could choose to join chat or not. And now that I've met people and started establishing a Discord group and stuff like that, now it's been super positive. Like, getting through the grueling aspect of it, now looking back, was totally worth it, because the type of community I've made an effort to make is so pro mental health and so pro acceptance and community and stuff like that, that's what I get back from them. And that's what I need. And I even talked to my therapist about this last time I went in, because I hadn't seen her in like a year, so we were playing catch up, and I'm like, this is what I'm doing now. And like, we're talking about why I'm so interested in the sex industry. We can go into that later. But she's like,
we should definitely.
Oh, dude, you gotta let me know if you really are Mr. Bones.
Fuck. So,
Mr. Bones, Mr. Bones.
Yes, there's places you can find my nudes online. So she's like, why don't you talk to your stream about it? And I'm like,
I'm Googling it right now.
That seems dangerous. I don't know. Should I really talk to them about these kind of things? She's like, yeah, what's the worst that can happen? You said you just ban people that are a problem, and the rest of them are people you trust and that you're friends with. So I'm like, okay, why not? So it's created a place for me to open up and talk about things. And yeah, in doing so, I've made friends.
I mean, so that's really interesting to me. This seems like one of the most counterintuitive places to create like a mental health like hotspot.
Probably.
Somewhere where things positive are happening. That's great. I mean, so that's something I'm fully in favor of.
Yeah.
but it's surprising given like the atmosphere that at least I perceive on Twitch.
You know, I didn't I didn't know what the atmosphere on Twitch really was coming into it. I didn't watch a lot of people on Twitch. And to go back to that other point, I was streaming for a while on Chatterbait, and I made a little bit of money doing that. That was cool. But then slowly my room filled up with like other cam girls that were streaming that just wanted someone to talk to because they were bored. So it became like, okay, well, my dick's never out anyway. I'm just sitting around chatting. They added the just chatting section to Twitch. Why don't I go back and see how I do there? And just kind of face checked the Twitch community. Was like, oh, fuck. Well, this is still the only thing I can talk about with any sort of, I don't know, authority, knowledge. So you guys are going to listen to me talk about mental health today.
I mean, that's great. I aspire to get to that point at some point where at least mental health topics are on the board, because right now like shit is like, I mean, like I have like a core group of people that are super cool, but other than that it's just like toxic. Like people will come in and say like, oh, your girlfriend's really hot, and then I'll speak and they'll be like, oh my god, it's a man.
Yeah.
And like, so like that's like constant, but it doesn't really affect me personally, so I'm kind of okay with it.
Right.
But like, it sounds like you're fostering a healthy community, whereas like, fuck, like
you're just trying to deal with it.
We have quite a few people though. I mean, I would say like 3 or 4 people that are pretty that come in the stream pretty frequently, who are like dope people, like actual good friends and whatnot.
We have some solids, yeah.
That's good.
Luckily.
My only, I guess, advice in that regard would be to aggressively ban, to not tolerate bullshit. Like we have basically a zero trolling policy, because I'm just like, if I can't accurately distinct between you trolling as a joke and you really being toxic, like there's a quote about that, about satire, that there's no way to tell the difference between satire and someone who's actually like that without a clear indicator. And it's like, if all you did was jump into my channel and start with this shit, I have to assume that you are just a piece of shit. Like, goodbye. And there's a lot of people who, not to be intolerant toward them, but intolerance toward intolerance is okay. Probably come from cultures or communities or places in the world where having long hair, having painted fingers, having any makeup on at all, you are a homosexual and you deserve all of the shit I can throw at you. And it's like, oh,
right.
Okay,
I mean,
well,
like, so I feel like you're kind of making a case for empathy for them there. I think that's totally fair.
I still make the case for not dealing with them.
Right. But like, yeah. Like,
could I make a distinction really fast?
Yeah.
But I think on balance, that'll do way more harm than good.
So the distinction I would make is that if you have long hair and painted fingernails, I would say that it's kind of fair to assume that they may not be a straight male.
You could.
Looking at you, it's pretty obvious that you're a straight man just because you have facial hair and just the way you look.
Right.
But
the way I carry myself.
Yeah. Just you're, I can just
Me
tell.
too.
But in general, if you had long hair and maybe you looked feminine and you have painted fingernails, it might be fair to assume that person might be gay or trans or whatever.
Right.
But I mean, bashing on people on the basis of that's pretty fucking grade school shit, you know?
Exactly. It's like, even if you are not level 1 of being an asshole who is just coming in and calling me a girl because you're an asshole, level 2 is like, you actually believe I am a girl and are doing this still? You're behaving this way? Like, what?
Dude, I gotta tell you a story real fast.
Yeah.
This is the most hilarious shit. So you gotta, if you have Google up right now, look up this guy, Andy Biersack, okay?
Oh, he probably knows Black Veil Brides.
Black Veil Brides, Andy Biersack. Let me tell you.
I've heard of them.
We beer sacked a lot of people.
1 minute. I'm gonna tell it.
I gave away the.
Okay, so we would frequently, we went up to my father even, but we've gone up to many people and done this, where we would go up and be like, hey, this chick's really hot, isn't she, right? And they'd be like, yeah, she's hot as fuck, she's bomb. Like, yeah, that's a dude, you're gay.
That's really bad.
So mad.
That's really bad. That's counter to the like mental health aspects.
It really is. It really is. But that's like,
it is.
If on the left,
That's us
if we
being
can be
toxic,
edgy,
we can.
yeah, that's our edginess. Oh no, fuck.
That's our edgiest. That's us at our edgiest.
Yeah,
but
my catchphrase is that we are PC on non-PC topics. So
Yeah.
Yep.
I gotcha. Yeah,
but,
we've
that's was fun.
Okay, so I'll present you guys with a fun moral dilemma that I've been presenting people on my channel with the past few days. Do you know who Pamper Chew is?
A Papachu?
Pamper Chew.
I have no idea.
You might want to Google that one. Pamper, like Pampers is in the diaper, and Chew, like Pikachu, the Pokemon. Pamper Chew.
is this like a YouTuber or?
It's a person. We're gonna
let's
start
look at
there.
it
We're gonna start there. Just go to images real quick. You should see one in
Pamper.
overalls.
And then Chew. No, not Chew. It's like
Chew.
Pikachu.
Yeah, like
so,
Pikachu.
yeah.
It's a person. We're gonna start there.
Okay, so the guy wearing overalls with a yellow shirt.
This is Pamper Chew.
I think I know this community.
He likes to wear poopy diapers.
Ooh.
That
Oh,
he
okay, yeah,
that he
I
has
definitely know this community.
excavated from the dumpster.
That might not be healthy.
Yep.
But there's nothing morally wrong with that. No.
Nothing morally wrong with it.
Um,
Okay, cool. So
I would advise him to not. Oh wait, go
But
ahead,
it's
sorry.
probably
So,
bad. Yeah, it's probably bad for his
he's
own
got
health,
on
like,
there
physically.
a binky on a lanyard, which actually ends up being the bigger point of my conversation later.
I think
so he's got a
I'm looking at
binky
the
on a
exact
lanyard.
image. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, front and back. Cool. So, so now I'm going to diverge for a second and say, which I think I know what your answer is going to be. Are any kinks off limits between consenting, psychologically healthy adults?
Yes, I think so.
Besides
the-
the
well,
physically
the-
harmful.
Okay, besides the physically harmful,
What about
maybe the kink of kink shaming.
So the example I then go to is there's a kink of basically wanting to be racist towards someone or wanting someone to be racist towards you.
Well, but it's so
Right, that would fall under the category of humiliation. and,
again,
like,
are we
Right.
talking purely ethics, right? Is this
Yeah.
ethically okay? So if you had
So-
two consenting adults, one person wanted to be racist and the other person wanted to be racist too, right?
Yep.
They both enjoyed it and they didn't extend this beyond anything except the bedroom.
Mhm.
Would be totally ethically okay. However, that's not how that works.
There's
If
Yeah.
and
somebody
I
was
and I'm
into
going to
that-
put the caveat also that you said didn't extend beyond the bedroom, and now we're going to go back to that lanyard.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So again, like if it
So-
doesn't
Well,
extend
what
beyond,
about the lanyard?
So if he's wearing that out in public, is that taking his kink with him out in public?
yeah, I would say that that's wrong. If there's anybody who would see that, I think that it is potentially wrong.
Hold on, I have to make a huge distinction here because I think there's a
This
huge
is a fun.
difference between.
It's a fun topic
this is great.
to get into.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So for this person, like his lanyard and his binky,
Mhm.
I don't perceive a moral infraction that should be held against him.
Like, should he
like in
go
an
to the
ideal
grocery
society,
store?
I think that would be morally neutral. I
Right.
think in an ideal society, in the society that we want to build.
Yes.
However, something like racism and that
Good-
would fall under the
good
heading
distinction.
of humiliation.
Right.
Yeah. So that's fully within the realm of kink, but we kind of know from a lot of research and a lot of meta-analyses that racist feelings towards people, they never stay put. I mean,
Right.
it's difficult to eradicate it. Like our AI have already
The
produced racism.
Microsoft one? Oh, fucking God. Yeah, there have been some good
it's
ones.
But
Wait, are you talking about the one where the cars hit black people more often? 'Cause that
No,
was
this
totally
I'm
different.
talking about
No,
Microsoft
no.
put a female-based AI on Twitter, and within 24 hours, she was talking about gassing the Jews.
Yeah, they become this is pretty well founded. So,
They just scrape the bottom of our fucking intellect.
No.
They're just like, this is who I am now.
Dude, they fucking figured us out in 24 hours.
But like, I think actually, like, it points to sort of like the salience of our tendency to point out differences between people and apply value judgments to them.
And how many more probably how many more tweets there probably are of a negative, because what was it like in marketing where they say like you'll tell 7 people about something you like and 13 about something you dislike. So already you're getting a 7 to 13 ratio of this bot's probably going to be a dick. Like it's probably always just going to have something shitty to say about what's going on. So where I go with all of this in the end is, and I think that what you're getting at, Fetchis, is exactly it, is then would it be okay for me and my partner to go into race play symbology in public if that is our kink?
Oh, definitely not. I mean, so I don't know if I made my stance clear on that.
Right.
I think that would be wrong even in the bedroom.
Okay.
So I don't think that
That's
could
an interesting
not
one, yeah.
extend. So I think that would inevitably extend beyond the bedroom, because I mean there's a lot of research on implicit bias and how that manifests in people and how it seems to manifest in every person for like the vast majority of people. So I think the odds that is conducive towards that is so high that,
hey Gabe, so
kink shaming that might be appropriate.
That begs the question.
Are you misusing begging the question? Because I'll kill
you
myself.
Know this.
Okay, I was out of
no, I am misusing it. That's the funny part. Anyway, that begs the question. What about like the schoolgirl or teen aspect of pornography? Right?
Yeah, lollies.
Question.
Are lollies okay?
Or I mean, like we could.
What about virtual reality children porn?
Yeah. I mean, so, but like teen and schoolgirl, that's been teen is the #1 searched pornography thing ever.
Yeah,
teen is.
Hentai's number 3 now.
Yeah, but they're
bro. I've ranked those numbers up like single-handedly,
and leveling them up. Yeah, I've always questioned this, and I've always So to go back a little more to my backstory too, is I was raised by a penthouse pet, and she was an exotic dancer who would travel around and perform in competitions against other dancers. And they start out, I think she had one show where she comes out as Medusa, and her whole bottom is in like a snake thing, and she crawls out on her hands, and then by the end she's naked, spinning around. So I grew up.
Saw this?
When I was much older, I later on saw it. But yes, I grew up just in it. Like I've seen her friends perform many, many times when I was young. Like I got my first lap dance when I was 14. So yeah, so you know what? But so now we wonder why I gravitate towards the sex industry, right? Like it pulls at me. So
I would love to be a part of the sex industry, but sadly they didn't accept me.
You can be a cameraman. You can draw hentai. You can so many things.
I'm not good at drawing, and I don't know. I'm an alcoholic, so I got shaky hands all the time.
Oh yeah, that'll mess that up. Unless you're drunk, and then you just get a nice motion cam, right? So it was through some of the sex workers that I now know that one of them had posted that they refuse to do any race play porn outright because she believes that it perpetuates negative stereotypes. And I thought that was a very curious thing, that if I were and she was a white woman, so I am imagining a non-white person contacting her and asking for humiliation porn that includes their race. and that is now
Does
her
that
like
exist?
That does, yeah.
yeah.
I've never seen that. I've seen a lot of porn, but I've never once seen like race related.
Yeah.
Like, interracial, of course, but like.
So I mean, like, I've never heard of that, but it's immediately obvious that would be a thing because anything that you can be humiliated on the basis of,
right.
is open play.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have seen it by
but
now.
I just think that I think that is just intertwined with the history of America, such that it should be avoided.
It's one of those things.
I would say, yeah. So I mean, like, so if I were to evaluate this strictly as a utilitarian, which I tend to do, I think that will, on average, produce a net negative. It'll produce a net negative,
right?
Because I think that'll perpetuate that stereotype. I mean, you could perhaps argue that at the same time you're getting the benefit of more openness for kinks.
I was gonna play devil's advocate, and I was gonna say that it exists because of the negativity. That if racism didn't exist, the kink wouldn't exist.
Absolutely, but I still think that, like so you're operating under that framework of it existing,
right? You're saying it can spiral upward, kind of, in like feedback loop,
right? Instead of downward, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wonder about these things sometimes, and if they provide any relief to the people engaging in them and catharsis, or if they normalize the behavior over time.
It does provide relief for them. And
I think it also does normalize. I think it both. I think God, the world's complicated. So this is my channel. Like, this is what I do all day.
Yeah. So, but okay, so like, is there other ways that they could be getting this desire for humiliation out? Because that's very common in I think sexuality generally.
So I think that the core question of this is, let's say you have a kink, it's bad, right? Maybe you're into rape, right? I mean, a lot of women are into rape. It'd be bad if dudes were. So, luckily, they aren't. But I mean, imagine they were. Would it be better for them to not have access to any pornography or anything, and then maybe they just sort of get over it? Or is it better to get it out of their system? I mean, that's a tough question. We don't really seem to have the answer.
Right. It would be interesting if we could gather data about that with some thing that's not illegal, obviously, that we could see if having access to the pornography caused them to engage in it less, like I don't know, like a balloon fetish or something, where it's like, can you deal with just porno and not touch real balloons for a month?
So if we were considering this to be an addiction, right? And let's say that we're saying that this kink is an addiction for them, then we have a decent correlation that we can make. When you take illicit substances, drugs here that are illegal, the rate of people using them and ruining their lives over using them are much higher here than countries that legalize them. And so when given the access to these illegal substances, they're not used as often.
Right.
And even if they are, they're not used as poorly.
Which is strange, but true, yeah.
That seems to suggest that access to it does help. However, with sexuality, it seems a little bit more complicated than other addictions, or at least different.
Sexuality seems to fall like somewhere in between addiction and orientation, in a weird way.
Right.
Where it's like, I don't know if we have any good data about eliminating fetishes in psychology.
Yeah. No, and I don't think it would be advisable to try, except in certain cases where it has been tried and it's been unsuccessful.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad.
So, I mean, like, I would say pedophilia is probably along the spectrum of sexual orientation, unfortunately.
I've made that argument.
I could be wrong.
As well.
I hope I am wrong. I hope that's like just a kink that people can get over.
Absolutely.
But that's like, but my instinct is that that's like probably a sexual orientation.
So I would like to make a distinction.
Well, hold on. Let me finish. So in that case, it would be very difficult. Well, like, there's no good solutions, and I think the best solution would probably be something like, if we could get the consent of all people involved, previously made like child porn might be used on these people in a clinical setting.
I'm also a viewer of Destiny. Yes,
So
I agree.
I mean, so I think that is the best argument.
Before we get into that, I would
I
like
think
to make
it could be tried.
between somebody. So I think that human beings are genetically hardwired to like the youngest fertile woman. I think that women around the age of 15 is when we will, at least a lot of men will start to find women attractive, and they will be most attractive around that age. So we say 18 because that's the legal age, but it's probably closer to 16.
Right.
Is probably
it's legal
right where
in
most
places.
people would. Yeah, I mean, and as they get older, they seem to be less desirable to men. So I would make a quick distinction between a man who is trying to sort of like, okay, well, it's legal in my state for 16, but 15 is hotter. You know, that guy,
Right.
I think he's a lot different than people who like children. You know, I think
Oh,
the
and
guy
that's
who
the
thinks that 15
hebephilia,
year-olds are hot-
pedophilia.
Right.
There's
So
the other one
their
for
distinction is
babies.
made.
Yeah, and I think
in the
that
medical-
a lot of us are a little more
yeah.
forgiving of the teenage one, and that, yeah, teen is the most viewed, porn category. Thank heavens it's not preteen, because then that would be the truly horrifying truth.
But I mean, yeah, but so like the teen thing, I mean, like our ideas of 18 is the acceptable age that you can have sex with somebody. I mean, that's entirely socially constructed.
Yeah.
Post puberty, like I just want to. I think that's okay. Like I'm not going to take a huge qualm.
Well, puberty takes a long time. I would say puberty starts around like what, 13 and ends around 16, 17.
I kind of like
to
crib from Destiny's other argument that he uses regarding the incest debate, where it's like the problem is actually power dynamics, not age. If two 8-year-olds want to date each other, I really don't give a shit. If an 8 and a 9-year-old want to date each other, that's cute. Let them kiss each other on the cheek. Yay. It's when you, and when two 15-year-olds want to fuck, okay, that's when I lost my virginity, like whatever. I actually at 15 lost it to an 18-year-old, and I didn't feel that mentally different from her. But when we start to say like even 18 and let's say 40, now I'm like, what's going on here? There's a weird power dynamic difference there of maturity and life networking, like where this 40-year-old has influence, has people they know. This 18-year-old is naive, is just coming out. Like, I'm then not really in favor of relationships that are like that in general. But on the other hand,
yeah,
that's some people's kinks. So fuck, I don't fucking. I'm starting to just realize I'm not allowed to have opinions.
It's really hard with that, right? Because like, there's no way to legislate against that. I mean, you can set a minimum age. You can set 18 as a minimum age, or 16 in some states.
Yep.
But then from there, you can't really specify, or I mean, I guess you could specify like an age,
like half your
range,
age plus 10, like kind of crazy shit.
Yeah, but I mean, that would be kind of like untenable in a sense.
Yeah.
Or that'd be difficult.
Difficult to enforce.
Yeah. And
hey,
I mean,
you too old enough for this relationship?
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's time for like full honesty time. Like,
yeah.
I'm attracted to guys older than me. And legislating that away would be would seem to like rob me of agency that I think I should probably have. But I'm also 25, so I mean, like,
yeah, you're kind of entering the other end of that curve, that bell curve of maturity.
Yeah, my prefrontal
where it's
cortex is starting to fucking develop all the way.
Yeah, it's kind of done.
I mean, that's fair, but I mean, like the 18-year-old, yeah, I mean, I could have been exploited at 18, absolutely.
Yeah, when I was
so
19,
I don't think there's an easy solution to that.
When I was 19, I dated a girl who was 28. And at the time, I did not think there was anything weird about it. I thought that I was like Mac Daddy for landing this chick that was so much older than me. But wasn't like too old, wasn't like old and desperate. She was like still young and hot, just way older than me. And I was like, yeah, cool. She completely manipulated me, like It was awful. It was a terrible nightmare. And like now reflecting on it, I'm like, fuck. I was just not prepared to be with someone who was at that mental stage. I needed to be with someone else who was still basically a kid when I was fucking 19 and partying.
Sorry,
I was dating a 28-year-old when I was 19. I dated a 28-year-old, and basically how the power dynamic was just not right.
Yeah, she's an adult. You weren't. But like, how was that bad for you?
I believe, to use the phrase you used earlier, I believe it kind of robbed me of some agency in the sense that, and here we go. How bad is manipulation for the manipulatee when everything they did was their decision? I don't know. And that's...
Yeah, I mean, so this is for a lay audience. For anyone who like follows like our channel or like SJW shit in general, you'll know power imbalance. Like that was an obvious power imbalance.
Did you benefit from it? So like a quick backstory.
Sexually?
I was dating this one chick. Anyway, I was dating this one chick for a while. And I found out later that she was actually dating somebody else the whole time, right? And I was pretty hurt, but not that hurt because I wasn't that stuck on her anyway, right? Mostly I was just there for the sex.
We're not getting into that, Dragon.
And afterwards, I felt like, oh, well, I mean, I came out ahead, right? I had a lot of sex. She was hot. All's good, you know? I feel like I benefited from that relationship, even though she cheated on me the whole time and she was, a whore. She never intended on actually being with me, whatever. I still think I benefited. I still think that it wasn't a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah. So like, in what way was it a bad thing for you?
So there was the at the end of the relationship, there was the parting, get back together, parting, get back together, and basically every time we'd break up, she'd fuck a couple people and we'd get back together. And I don't think that I should have been getting back together with her. I think that was a big, huge waste of my fucking time. And there were other people who were interested in me, and she was sabotaging those relationships. She was isolating me from people so that she could continue. Yeah. Well, fuck, I don't know.
Sorry to interrupt, but like, was she like, was it like a vindictive, like she was trying to sabotage all of your other aspects so that she could be the only one? Because that's a kind of
but I think she was doing it very unintentionally. No, what's the word? Subconsciously.
Yeah,
exactly. Like she's not the type of girl who sat and drew this out in a notebook or anything, but definitely when she saw opportunities, she took them to either make people feel like I was, the odd person out, or to make me still feel jealous about her, like after we broke up, and just weird shit that was like unnecessary. Like now as a mature person going through breakups, there's a lot of shit that I see that I'm like, oh, I could totally torment someone afterward. Text them every week or so, and be like, I still miss you. Like shit like that. That's just unnecessary. That I can avoid doing now. But, so she was very immature in the aspects she had. Yeah, I think that she used to utilize me for sex and to feel powerful over somebody, and that sucked.
Yeah. No, I mean, so like that makes total sense to me. That seems like classic power dynamics. Like, so
yeah.
So I mean, like I can imagine the same thing. Like being even just 25, which isn't that old. I can imagine how it could manipulate somebody who's 18 or something.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like obvious. Like if you're above,
buy him some beer,
you would know. Yeah, I mean, even just that. Like,
so can I break up the serious talk for a minute? So the classic top half fish, bottom half fish thing.
Oh God, can I have a cigarette so I can go
smoke?
Because I already answered this question.
Go ahead. All right. So that classic meme, right?
Yep.
Is it on here?
All right. Top half woman or bottom half woman? Other side is man.
Other side is man.
Basically, top half man, bottom half man.
I don't know if this is transphobic, but I hope it's not.
I think it might be.
Sorry if it is.
Because you know what? I was just translating. I was just translating it in my mind, and into like, would I rather be with someone who looked like a man but had all the female parts, or look like a woman but had all the man parts? But
Well, basically,
okay.
it's just like, would you
Yeah.
rather have a man chest and man face,
Yeah.
but a pussy and a woman's ass,
You know
or would you
what?
rather have?
I think that I can play with boobies and do butt stuff. I think that
Yeah,
we can strap the wee wee to the belly or something.
it's a
And
man face though.
oh wait, it has boobs and a man
Oh wait,
face. I thought yeah,
oh,
female from the waist up, right? That's what I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
go
yeah.
with.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna go
Yep,
with man bottom
that was my
half.
pick too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because now we can put clothes on you that make me think you're a woman, and that's pretty cool. And that'll
Yeah,
help
yeah, yeah.
fulfill what I need up here in order to get to where I want to go.
Right, that's my side totally. Like I have no I have no qualms with dating like trans people. Wouldn't bother me at all.
Okay.
If they were hot, like if they were hot, I'd be like, yeah, fuck it, dude. I don't care. You have a dick, whatever, man. Like
that was
do
something
it.
I actually had to like take time and think out. I remember I ran into someone on Tinder that I thought was a hottie, and I clicked on their information, and it was like, I am a trans female. I'm like, oh, huh. Well, if I couldn't tell, this is like a if a clone is indistinguishable from the original, is it a clone? Like, if I couldn't tell that you were a man, then does it matter at all that you were a fucking man? Well,
I mean, a little bit just because they don't have a pussy. Right?
Well, and it depends. Yeah,
thing.
pre-op, post-op, and a little bit of lived experience. They're going to have a lot more interest in trans issues than say a cis woman might. You know, they might be more interested in liberal kind of stuff. All good things in my opinion, but yeah, no, I think I've come around to it where I'm like, I could date a trans female, provided they met all the other qualifications of females I was interested in.
Exactly. That's where I'm at too. I mean, I do like vaginas, you know, like I'm a fan. And so if you're a biological female, I'd prefer it, you know. It's like cuz I like, you know, normal functioning vaginas. But if you don't have one, it's not the end of the world. I'll fucking move past that. If you're fucking hot otherwise and I think that you're fine and we get along, fuck it, dude, I can get past that. It's just you know,
we can make it work somehow. We'll figure it out. You know, love finds a way.
And you're confusing, Dragon.
By the way, Gabe, so we both agree that we want top half woman.
Wait, did I agree with that?
No, we did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did. Well, but
so
I did
the three of us are in agreement.
I did because like.
Yeah, we're all in agreement.
Am I transphobic? I don't know.
It's funny because like
I'm straight. I'm not straight. I am cis. I'm a cis man, but I couldn't deal.
I saw you have a clip, and it's like, "Am I trans?" is the name of your clip, and I was like, "Am I going to learn something from this?" And it's you two building a PC, and I'm like, "Oh, this clip taught me nothing aside from that he likes to wear wigs and he does beautiful eye makeup."
Oh wait, can we get into something like fucking where I could get banned if I had a bigger channel, but I don't?
Fuck yeah. So, let's do it.
Okay, so something I struggle with, or like I'm mentally confused about, and I'm not sure. Hold on.
God damn it, Gabe.
Oh, they're all gone.
We're out.
We're out of beer. That's okay.
Still got 4 minutes.
You guys smoke
4
weed?
minutes? What's that?
Do you smoke weed?
No, I get panic attacks.
I only smoke it at night before bed sometimes. Other than that, not really.
I have a chronic pain thing, so I smoke more than should be possible.
Are you a gamer?
A gamer? Yeah.
Okay, so I just heard something from.
I'll be right back. Because this beer thing,
I want to hear what's going to get you banned. I want to hear your fucking hot take.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll get
nuclear
sorry.
All you good.
Sorry. Okay. Nuclear take. We're timed. It's time. So I don't know how it would work between like me and a trans man. Even though there have been plenty of trans men that I find perfectly attractive and like I'm totally into.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how it would work like sexually.
I don't think that it's that
You know what
hot
I
of a
mean?
take for you to be like, these are the genitalia that sexually arouse me. I don't think that that's inappropriate. You're allowed to be aroused by what you want. That wasn't that the whole fight of the last 10 years?
That's true, but I mean, like, so.
But I do
like,
know
so
some
people will
trans people that
misinterpret
would say that that's totally transphobic when it's like,
Right. Yeah. I mean, but like in trying to be someone who like understands. Shut up, dragon. Like who like understands gender and sexuality. Like that's something I try to like somewhat specialize on as much as possible. I could totally perceive someone as a man who is trans, obviously, of course. Right. Just yeah. So like just down there, I don't know how it would work. Maybe there are workarounds. I don't know.
So are you just not into girl parts?
No, I'm not. I mean, I mean, like, there's nothing that I can do with it. Like, it. I take the receptive side. I'm sorry to have to say. So bluntly.
No reason to be sorry. You take whatever side you love, but no, then that makes sense. Then that's totally reasonable for you to be like, hey, look, but I guess as with what we were just saying about, top half man, bottom half woman argument, I think I landed on love finds a way, right? So like if you met a trans man that you were really, really, really into, then it's like, hey, well then I guess you're gonna have to wear a strap on, or you're gonna have to finger my butt, or you're gonna have to we're gonna have to find a way to make this fucking work because I really, really like you, but I can't come with you. So can you please put on the fursuit?
Okay.
Like whatever it is.
You just saved me.
Did I?
I'm gonna take that take.
Cool.
That's my new take.
Cool. Like, no problem.
That's perfect.
It's like, and that's my I guess that is my cop out, is always like everything's acceptable. I may not be into it on a surface level, but if I found someone I was really, really, really into, I'd make it work.
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm not into men, but if I met a man who, like you, dressed real pretty and was cute and I got along with and everything was great, could I make it work? I'm sure we could find a fucking way. Give me enough time and resources and make anything work. So that's kind of the stance I take on everything. It's just like, aw.
Thank you
it's
for
not a
calling me
countdown.
pretty.
Nothing is true and everything is permitted. You're right, Beard. Some of the people are saying that bisexual and pansexual people have the argument won as far as genitalia. Yeah, well, you guys...
They have the argument around?
They have the argument, well, kind of around it, but that they have it won as far as the take to have on genitalia because they don't care and or like both as pansexuals or bisexual people. Which, yeah, you guys are lucky. You can't choose, right?
Dragon, we're both streaming.
If I could have chose to be bisexual, would have made my life so much easier.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, but I absolutely agree. So I mean, like I've mostly hooked up with straight men. In general, like it doesn't actually end up mattering. The voice kind of throws people off because like I'm not willing to like change my voice. Like that's just not. Even though like I don't even have a gay voice. Like what the fuck?
No,
but,
no, you don't.
Which is weird, but I mean that's just that it's never been a problem between me and a person. So I mean, like you could see, like love, I think hopefully does find a way.
Right.
But sexuality, I think is definitely finds a way. Like it's based on secondary sex characteristics that you can identify.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's been rough. But I've dated someone who I've dated two women who I was not actually attracted to sexually. Really, really liked their personalities. Thought they were, I mean, pretty, I guess. but they just weren't like walking down the street like, whoa, you know, head turners to me. And like just seeing them naked didn't immediately arouse me. And there were times where that was more difficult than others. So I then apply that to the next level and I go, okay, what if they were a man? If it was so difficult to get past with just women I wasn't attracted to, could I possibly get past it with a gender? And it's one of those things where I want the answer to be yes. Regardless of what the answer ends up being when I'm confronted with it, I wish the answer was yes. And if it isn't, I'm going to fucking blame society. And look, I'm seeing my therapist for enough other reasons that I don't have time for that. But
okay, you're dropping wisdom on me because, like, honestly, you basically just articulated exactly my problem and like gave like a pretty fucking good solution to it.
Cool.
So I'm gonna take that.
Cool.
Sorry, I'm gonna take some of your nuclear takes. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. This is. I'm glad I can help in any way I can.
K Miller, you should not leave chat and go masturbate. You should stay in chat and hang out with us because
also masturbate.
We're nice. I mean, you could masturbate at the same time. Like, there's no kink shaming here.
What's stopping you?
Depending on the kink.
Why can't you?
As we've talked.
Yeah, that's some. There's some kink, but it's not shaming. It's more. So my kink shaming perspective on race play is informed by my much more updated and new perspective on things like Nazi jokes, where I totally thought it was funny because being offensive is funny until a bunch of people started to secretly fucking be Nazis. And then
so you agree with me. I'm so glad.
And then maybe we should kind of maybe stop making fucking Nazi jokes if you don't want people to think you're a fucking Nazi. And so that's, I kind of agree in the same right with the race play, where it's like, in an ideal world, if that was your kink, fucking go for it. Fucking if I want someone to shame me for the fact that I have 10 fingers, I should be allowed, like, whatever the fuck I want to be shamed for, I should be allowed to be shamed for. But right now in 2020, maybe not. Maybe we'll hold off on that. Maybe if you're doing it, just don't tell anyone.
Yeah, I mean, we live in a world where, I mean, these things seem to manifest at a very subconscious level, and that is probably a kink that I would say is like unacceptable. Like, it is this is a difficult topic. Good job.
So one of my friends says, "Can I make Nazi jokes more readily since I'm brown?" No, Beard.
No, absolutely
you can't
not.
Because absolutely you risk even worse than me making Nazi takes. Even worse, you risk becoming a token. And if they get their hands on you, it validates hundreds of Nazis because they go, look, even he thinks they're lazy. And that's
or like,
no
I mean,
bueno.
Or like Charles Murray, like IQ research bullshit, pseudoscience. Which who's that guy? He's a guy who's had multiple strokes. He has a channel.
Cheney?
You know who he is. I know you know.
Oh, I don't know.
No, it's like Jesse Lee Peterson.
Yes.
So Jesse Lee Peterson, amazing. Jesse Lee Peterson is this exact type of engages in this exact type of apologetics.
Is so beautiful for them. He is their golden child.
Right, exactly. And I mean, like, and same thing with like Blair White. I don't know if you're familiar with her. It's the same thing. So I mean, like, these people with completely racist and transphobic takes, which mirror that of Jesse Lee Peterson and Blair White, they're validated because they say, okay, look, even like a reasonable trans or a reasonable black person or African American person has these exact same takes. So what's the problem?
One of the easiest ways to make money is to like be a minority and sell out.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly lucrative. I mean, like, I was kind of tempted to do it. Like,
to just pretend
really,
to be a
but
Republican.
I never gave in. I never gave in. But I was like, okay, this is the lucrative field. So
Yeah.
like where you make money. If I were an ethical egoist, I would
Oh,
say I'm gonna identify as non-binary and shit all over non-binary people and be a trans medicalist.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah,
You'd blow up instantly. Everyone would love you. I mean, except for trans people, but so help me understand a little bit part of this. If you know anything I don't, here's where we're going to go into transmedicalism.
Okay.
Transmedicalism is what?
Transmedicalism is the idea that what defines you as a trans person, like if you're a trans woman, what defines you as a woman is like medical procedures. So like having an endocrine system that's identical to a female's, and going through all those steps and being diagnosed with gender dysphoria. ContraPoints has already taken this takedown pretty much completely.
I love ContraPoints. She's wonderful.
Yeah. She's the best. Oh my god. I'm glad that we agree on that.
Yeah, because I kind of fall in the gender abolition camp, where I'm just like, this is a thing that is useful in some ways. Sex is kind of useful to understand, but gender, maybe we don't need so much. And I think that
absolutely
comes from
I'm gonna go into a whole topic on that.
Told I'm a girl a bunch of times, but yeah,
can I respond to like some of the?
Go for it.
Oh, sorry.
I will. I'm gonna do another dab. You do your spiel.
I just want to talk to the Deuterinos a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Gerald Corello. I don't know if I'm saying this respectfully, if not, I apologize. But with being a transgender person, not the typical everyday person, how does it affect income? Like, does your job allow this? So I can't speak from personal experience because I'm not a transgender person. I'm just a cis male. I just think this look kind of works for me. But
does that not make you trans?
There's data on this. It absolutely does affect income. Dragon, his stream is Mr.Bones.
Twitch Mr.Bones.
Twitch Mr.Bones. Follow him because he's super cool.
Like, yeah, and you guys go follow Fetchis. I'll post his stuff in the Discord for sure.
Thank you. So it affects income. It affects the likelihood that your parents will abandon you early. Mm-hmm. It's
bad for you in every way.
Yeah, so like absolutely, and that's totally respectful. I mean, K Miller, you're a-okay. Geraldo Calero, what the fuck is that? Hello. Well, I don't know what the fuck that is. Probably me.
Maybe.
I like guys, and I think Twitch Mr.Bones likes girls.
Yeah? I do.
Yeah, so okay, so straight and gay, I guess. But I only date straight guys, so I've never had a good time dating.
That I'm gonna have to put a note there. Okay. You dating
Thank you,
straight
Once in
guys.
Future Beard.
Hey, that's one of my best friends.
Oh fuck yeah! Hey, welcome to the stream.
He said, "Anyone with that level of Einer skill gets my followage."
He says what?
Anyone with that level of eyeliner skill gets my followage.
Thank you. I picked that up really quickly, because I'm like a cisgender man, fully.
Okay.
I'm not non-binary or anything like that. I just thought the cat liner would work for me. Which leads into another topic, by the way, that we could get into.
We're there.
Which is
there. That's where I'm leading you. I put a note here.
Fuck yeah.
With you being a cis man who dresses effeminately.
Thank you, Sunshine Day. Yeah.
Okay. So this also ties into you dating straight boys. I have wondered and postulated that a lot of the guff I get for my look is from men who are uncomfortable with their sexuality. And so they come and they insult me for not playing by the rules of masculinity.
Oh yeah.
If that's the case,
I have a PhD on this topic.
if that were the case, then that would explain to me the draw you would have towards straight boys that are wanting to see how straight they really are.
No, well, not so far. So far, everyone I've hooked up with who's straight in this capacity has assumed
Hey,
I was
thank
a
you for
woman
following
to begin
Nacho
with,
Dragon.
because it was just based on like
I
pictures or
appreciate
whatever.
it.
And they just kind of ended up saying, I was like, I'm like completely a man. Like I act like a man. I'm not even trans. Like
I can't imagine
I'm just a cis guy.
thinking you're a girl and then like meeting you at the bus stop, be like,
oh well, I mean that would be terrifying. I wouldn't do that. But like I called them. I was like, I was like, I don't even have a gay accent, which I don't know where it comes from. But like so like I'm like a total man, and they're like, well, I think you're gorgeous, so whatever. Like
that's so funny.
But I mean, like that's actually not uncommon, apparently.
And do they refer to themselves as straight after they've been with you?
Yeah, because they perceive me as a woman.
Because you're a bridge between.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, it's just since they perceived me to be a woman to begin with, they had the sense or the wherewithal, or just happened to fall into the right circumstance where they found me to be me to be a woman, obviously, and then afterwards they realized that attraction is the basis for losing that attraction is entirely conceptual. I mean, the voice could throw somebody off. But,
yeah,
I mean,
that could be a little
basically
bit.
They're still attracted.
And the
to me.
penis. You might be like,
I mean, yeah. So that's an objective thing, but
right.
They were just willing to look over it.
I get what you mean about like, yeah. Before I've even talked to you, there is a subjectivity to or a conscious thing that would change when I'm like, oh, you're not a woman. Wait, why does that matter? Like, yeah. And I'm glad that those people have been able to overcome that and actually, not be a difficulty for you. Have you dealt with people reacting poorly to you being like, I'm a man?
Oh, primarily, yes. But I mean, so like this for whatever reason just doesn't bother me. I think it's part of it's probably because I'm putting out like a weird big kind of front.
Right.
Like so it's like I'm sort of expecting people to not be accepting. So I don't know if that's like a barrier. I don't know. Maybe give me mental
that definitely
that,
is actually. That's something that a therapist would immediately be like, you are big so that you can control the way in which people look at you. Like you don't want them to look at you with the wrong narrative. So you want to come in bashing cymbals and playing a piano so that way you can control the narrative from the moment they see you. And I'm not a weirdo, I'm a performer. Like something, and that was what my therapist told me.
Yeah. Absolutely. Although I am willing to step into the weirdo territory.
I've gotten more comfortable with. So I was going to mention earlier too. So I think as I got into in my early 20s, I dressed very androgynously and wore a lot of makeup. And I lived in New York, so it was a little more acceptable. Like I'd go out to New York clubs. Really? Nobody gave a shit what I did.
Okay.
So as I got older, I think I got beaten by masculinity, and I started feeling that it was less and less appropriate for me to wear eyeliner, or for example, try and learn a technique for eyeliner rather than just being like broop 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 done. Like the traditional goth punk kid that I was in high school. Like even in my 20s, if I did my eyeliner, it would still be like that. There's no reason for that when I could easily watch a YouTube tutorial and do something very pretty. Why do I not? Oh, because I gave that up. you know, that's still something I was always interested in, but it's something I gave up to not have to deal with the nightmare that is other men.
Right.
So
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
if you're this far out, I'm wondering what you may have given up.
Okay, that last part threw me through a loop.
If
So
you're
giving up, what do you mean by giving up?
like do you feel like there's any aspect of your personality that you negate to not have to deal with the shit other men are going to give you?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know if I'd like, I'm trying to just say it exactly as I feel it's probably
Right.
true. I don't think so, and I think probably part of the reason for that is because through whatever processes growing up has led to who I am now.
Right.
I'm comfortable like having like being truly androgynous, like looking exactly like a woman, speaking and acting exactly like a male. So I think, I don't know, I'm just I got over it or I suppressed it. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I wonder. Like, I feel like I would be pulled more that direction if I were just left to my own devices and I didn't have to worry about dealing with literally just other men. Like, it seems that women who don't like my look just leave me the fuck alone. It's men who, like I said before, I think are just their masculinity is challenged and they're like, you're not playing by toxic masculinity? How fucking dare you, faggot? And you're like, whoa. The hell are you? What are we even? Why are we at this level right now? We were both just standing here, and
right, exactly,
yeah. There's no reason to come at someone with that level of energy unless it's like from such a cognitive dissonance in yourself. So that's yeah. I'm sure your chat is a lot of fun on certain days.
It's interesting.
If mine has been what it's been, I can only imagine. But yeah,
are they hating on me?
No. Mine's been absolutely my guys. I even mentioned I was like, thankfully, I don't feel like I need to tell anybody to be well behaved tonight. Like everyone in my chat's been totally respectful. They all like you a lot so far.
That's awesome.
I think there were a couple people who showed up right in the beginning that made some jokes about gender, and then they got banned, and that was that. And
nice. Yeah. Dragon. Yeah. Oh, actually, that's like a good thing to bring up. So, like, we ban people for offenses that are like external to ourselves. Because for me personally, like, if someone says like, "Oh, you're an F-git," it just doesn't really bother me. But so if they're directing that directly at me, I usually, in the past, haven't banned them. But Isaac has, because he's not part of like, he's not like gay like I am. So
right, that's a weird stance to take.
It is a weird stance to take. It's
like,
just, it's
I
just
don't
like, it
mind
if
me. You are a terrible person toward me, but how dare you be terrible to my friends? Like,
yeah,
if you
or just
were
any other community.
If you were your own friend, wouldn't you then ban that person?
It depends. I mean, so like, this is, maybe you can give me some insight into this. If I knew they were identical to me, then I actually wouldn't, because like it literally doesn't affect me, and it probably fuels me. Like, I probably enjoy it. Like,
then keep on
you
with
thought
it.
You thought I was a pretty girl, and so fuck off. Like, I mean, like, I don't know. It just doesn't offend me at all. And I probably, like, there's an ego boost there, like a weird flex ego boost there somewhere.
Some days I feel it. This morning I fucked with the troll for a good while, and then we got him to actually say they were sorry and leave, which was not expected.
Miraculous.
Yeah, it was very, very strange. We Simon, yeah, we did figure out their real name. So when I was like, listen, Simon, maybe that
Don't dox him.
maybe that helped. But he had it public. It was on his fucking page. So whatever. Not the point. Yeah, we've just we've I don't know. Maybe it is a defense mechanism that I'm just like, if you even look at me wrong, you're fucking banned out of my chat and never looking back. But I actually have had messages from 2 different people that were like, hey, I got banned because I just showed up when someone else said some shit and you banned me. One of them I unbanned. They came back and immediately started saying a bunch of terrible things, so they had to get rebanned, and another person was totally fine. So I just feel like my misfires are so few that it has been an overall good for my chat room, but I don't feel energized by dealing with that. I get chipped away at by each one, where I'm just like, God damn it, are you fucking serious? Another one? Okay, alright, come on, it gets old, guys. Think of any fucking other insult. I'm tired of hearing the same one for the 10th time today. Like, do I need a fucking checklist on the wall of how many I've heard? Like, and
okay,
you know, it like I start to feel like that. So it's easier for me to just be like, boom, 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 boom. All right, what do we got left? Oh shit, a bunch of cool people.
right?
Great. And I get energized by these people. Bones is like Twitch dad,
like positive
cool
energy.
Dad. Yeah, and we've called it weaponized positivity before too, where we're just like, you're not nice, get the fuck out. And it works, because if people are, you know, willing to just not insult people, that's literally like the only fucking rule. Don't be mean. That's it. I've started, you might be interested in this. Where possible, replace the word offensive with either mean or not nice or nice. Like is it nice to call a trans person by the gender that they don't identify with?
Right.
I don't care if it's offensive. Like, no. Is it nice? Yeah, and everyone's going to be like, well, no.
Yeah, I mean, so like the counterpoint to that would be the Ben Shapiro argument. Facts don't care about your feelings.
You know what? And they don't.
He just doesn't care about your feelings, etc.
Okay, and then the facts have all spoken, and now, the fact is they want me to call them this. Why does the fact that they have a penis or a butt? And so I've been actually wanting to get into that. And Destiny just had an epic fucking chat with a guy who is a therapist, and he cracked him. He cracked Destiny. Oh, Destiny didn't
listen to that.
He didn't anything on the thing, but I think it was the next day or maybe later that night. He was like, I may be willing to explore my feelings. So,
well, he said like maybe, but he said he'd been considering it for a long time.
And I think that there is room for feels over facts time. And what I mean by that is not like we're all going to live in denial. Like, we had someone who joined the server who, was just a compulsive liar. Okay, that's not what I mean. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. But it's like, I don't care, what the government or what the dictionary is going to tell me you are. Your feelings are being hurt every time you go to work. That really sucks. That really fucking sucks. That every day you go to work, you feel hurt. And that you come home feeling hurt. And that you have to deal with that. And like, that kind of stuff is interesting to me. More so than, is it right or wrong that you're only allowed to go to a certain bathroom? Well, I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. The fact of the matter is that somebody got their feelings hurt, and whether it was right or wrong for them to get their feelings hurt, they did. And that's interesting. And how can we save them from killing themselves?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is something I have to jump into because this is something I'm going to try to nail Destiny on in the next debate that we have. So, I don't know how open he's going to be to even this concept, but he regularly makes performative contradictions. So he advocates on behalf of trans people very frequently. I mean, in our debate, obviously, he wasn't based on what he viewed to be the facts, because based on a value judgment, he is subordinating feelings over facts. So there is that, which I think is fair to do. I mean, that's what I do too, honestly. But
in a value
but
system,
he's
but like the
but
trihex.
Go ahead.
That's all. Right. Just like with the trihex thing, I feel like that was a clear contradiction of that. Like, which way is it?
Well, wait,
are you
exactly
deriving
what with that? Because I was going to bring him up on that, but
so
I don't know what he did.
This is so he said, and I don't remember the exact way it got brought up, but I do know the context he meant it. But he said that he says the N-word in private amongst people he knows for a fact. It is not going to normalize it with or perpetuate it with.
Okay.
So
then he could be sure that if he were in a room of other destinies.
Yep.
Was this posed as a hypothetical, or was this posed as something he did?
This is posed as something he believes he does and should retain the freedom to do. And then, as an example he gave, he said if he wanted to quote the Boondocks or a rap song while he's driving with his friend in a car.
All right, so if I can interject for a moment.
Yeah.
So did Trihex, he took issue with that. And Trihex, I assume, is a black man?
Yep.
Yeah, he's an African American. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And he was like, saying you do it in private is essentially equivalent to doing it in public, now that we know you do it in private. And Destiny says, well, I would rather that than be a liar.
Actually, I think that the important thing is that he told people that he says it in private, right? So like, if you like, if I say, theoretically, if I'm singing along to Lil Wayne, right, and I'm by myself or I'm with Gabe, right, and I sing along the lyrics that are said, right, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if I broadcast myself in front of 4,000 people and then say, yeah, I say it, that in and of itself is what you would take issue with. It's not
you could
that he
clip it wrong. You could spin that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I might be able to pin him on this. This is exciting for me because we're gonna have another debate.
So the one thing I've said I would love to challenge Destiny on is social contract. I think the social contract is invalidated by the very real existence of extraterrestrials who have zero fucking reason to acknowledge a social contract with us. So what argument would you use with an extraterrestrial as to why we should continue to live?
Well, I can make that argument because in that debate I made kind of a pretty similar argument.
Because I would say,
well, so like the social contract theory, it doesn't pertain to things that can't defend themselves. So the social contract only pertains to other people that can engage in the social contract, and that's his way of excluding animals from that because they can't engage in the social contract. So he would say we would have no argument against aliens destroying us, but he then moved to a pragmatic argument, which I wasn't really prepared for, because usually philosophy doesn't just automatically move to pragmatism.
It doesn't just drop itself and like. But here we are on Earth.
But I mean, so it did in this case, but it's still a valid move. I didn't think it was hugely invalid or anything. But he just moved to the case. He was like, okay, well, I mean, yeah. So I wouldn't have any argument, and you would have an argument if aliens came down and wanted to extract all of our resources. But they have no compulsion to listen to your argument, so it's pointless anyway. And all you're doing is handicapping yourself. I was like, well, pragmatically, that's true. I mean,
doesn't all of this point
they're going to listen to our argument?
I feel like the fact that we exist proves the point that social contract is unnecessary to establish order between two intelligent organisms. Like,
I disagree with that.
We exist. Okay. What would be the initial
but go ahead.
disagreement?
But explain why you think so.
By the way, you may want to turn your sound gate down a little bit.
Okay.
Why?
After I reinstalled everything got set to like defaults. So.
Oh yeah. Just that at the end and beginning of every sentence, you're cut off.
Okay.
Oh, that has been happening a little bit.
No, not that.
Can you guys like sideline for a second? But could you keep that thought in mind?
Yeah.
So like why you think social contract theory is invalid? So I think it can work. Like you can make it work, but I have to pee, so I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay. I think
my
attenuation's a little better.
Yep, it should be.
Cool.
So far. By the way, what mic are you using?
This is old Samson like concert mic. Like I was in a lot of bands and played rock music and shit. So this is like leftover equipment from that.
I don't know why I could totally see that. I just
Yeah.
You like Hailstorm?
No, I don't know them.
Oh, okay. Do you like Tool? Did you like Tool's new
Oh
album?
yeah, I love Tool.
Fuck yeah. Did you like Tool's new album though?
I haven't heard it. I'll download it as soon as fucking Pirate Bay's back up.
I peg you as like a.
I didn't know. I didn't
like
even know that was.
90s metal guy.
It's really
at all on point?
My dream when I was 18 was to be Trent Reznor and to just be Nine Inch Nails. And if I could just be just be Nine Inch Nails all at once, then I would be happy. And I feel like I hit peak Nine Inch Nails-ness at about 19 and a half and realized, oh, I'm going to have to start doing heroin or kill myself. So I think I'm done. and that was that. And then I moved back to Arizona, and I made electronic music for about 5 years too.
Nice.
I have a lot of weird stories. Weird story. You need to go pee. Go pee.
I have to pee, though.
We won't.
I mean,
leave
like
you.
this.
Yeah,
So
we'll
this
come back
is
to
like
the social
upside
contract.
of
I'm
having
keeping it on.
hosts.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Don't worry, we'll do boring mic talk.
I just have the bladder of champions.
Pee?
So, do you have to have a mixer for that?
I have to have, yes, but I use an external sound card called the Logitech Alpha, and
Nice.
it just has a single XLR input on the back, 2 XLR outputs for left and right. No, they're RCA outputs for left and right, and then a 1/4 inch input. So if you want to do any other line-in stuff, you have to go up from, like, if you're trying to get your mic or whatever, your 1/8 inch cable in, you have to go up a little bit. Or no, 1/2 inch, sorry. 1/2 inch.
Yeah, I'm just a basic bitch. I just got the Yeti X.
Okay.
So,
yeah. I was looking into getting a USB condenser, and then everyone told me this one sounded like shit, but eventually I found out it was just because my settings were wrong. So one day I was like, look, this is the only other one I have, because someone was bitching really bad about the mic I was using, and I pulled this one out, set it up, and it worked. So I was like, all right, then I'm not going to waste money. There's been a couple times where I've been like, tried to be like, okay, if I had, a little bit of money, what's the first thing I could do to get the most upgrade on my stream? Like, do I need faster internet? Do I need a better video card? Do I need more RAM? Do I need a better mic? Like, I want all of these things. So what do I do first? And Mike, I'm glad it's now at the bottom of the list. RAM. Yeah. Now that I realize I only have 12 gigs of RAM, yeah, that's coming up next.
What do you do that requires so much?
Playing a game, they require like 16 gigs of RAM. Minimum.
Which game?
We were playing Undaunted, but also trying to stream it at the same time. Yeah, my video card is also bullshit, and so is my fucking processor. So it's like, one bad thing on top of another, but we isolated that the worst offender is my RAM at the moment. Because I've got a GeForce 1050.
1050. Oh, 1050 Ti or just the basic?
No, just the basic.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good.
It works.
And then what's your CPU?
Fucking no, AMD 6-core. Fucking each core is like 1.3 or something like that. It's not so hot. It's bad, and it's overheated.
You're looking at somewhat like what we're gonna build. I'm guessing that's around a $1,000 PC.
Yep.
When you bought it.
Yep.
Wait, what do you have? I'm sorry. This is a downside to dual streaming.
You got a GTX 1050.
12 gigs RAM, a 6-core AMD because I'm cheap ass, so I had to go with AMD. Do the Intel. Just do the Intel. Just get the i5.
I did it. I got the i5 9600.
Yeah. You will have less problems. You will overheat less.
Yeah, it's unlocked for overclocking and everything, which we have to do because did you tell them about our League adventure?
No.
Okay, so we tried to stream League, and the GPU just straight up was like, "No, you're not doing this."
Yeah.
Here's what I got under the hood here. It's a badass Intel Pentium CPU with a GTX 750.
It's fire.
Okay, how much RAM you got?
I think 2.
Ooh.
Pretty sure it's 2.
Ooh,
yeah.
No wonder you're like
4.
12. What would you need that for? Okay, so if you go up to 4, you're gonna notice that nothing really changed. That they were like, "Oh, you're under 16? You're fucking garbage. Get the fuck out of here." It's like a line that just like
in the community.
I can play new games on the lowest settings, but if I try to stream anything, my computer crashes.
The GPU just says no. Like,
I can play
absolutely like it stops the stream.
I can play games on medium to high settings, but if I try and stream it even on lowest settings, the stream just drops to like 5 frames a second. Like it's just terrible. So I can play like Magic Arena and stupid shit.
Yeah, we did a lot of RuneScape at the beginning because it was compatible. But now we're obsessed with League right now. So I'm running, hopefully this will work. Maybe you'll have some insight into this. I'm running a Radeon 5700 XT for the GPU. I have an i5 9600. The motherboard's like whatever, like it's compatible with everything. It's fine.
Yeah.
How much
motherboards
RAM did you
don't
get?
matter.
16 gigs.
Oh shit, nice.
Cool.
Yeah, so
you're gonna be solid.
Like, hopefully. Yeah, so like that. I hope.
Especially for League.
Also,
if my PC can build League, and you're building like one step above what I have, so you'll be fine for League. Absolutely.
Okay, fuck yeah.
If we have any issues though, we could also just stream it from my computer and then play it on his. So I mean,
that's something I've been thinking about lately is getting my Streamlabs OBS shit all set up better on my laptop and just streaming straight from my laptop rather than. Well, then I wouldn't be streaming my game, I guess. I'd just be gaming and then also streaming. But that's kind of what I do anyway.
A lot of guys who are trying to do like 4K and shit will do that. You know, have the 2 PC rig, one that's streaming it, one that's playing it.
Yeah, I guess you could do it too if you had like an input, because then it's just video. You're not processing it, so then you could just kind of...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Starting to seem less like boomers and more like nerds. We are nerds.
Yeah,
we're
this is the
full nerds.
Non-boomer side coming out. It's great. I'm getting there. Fuck, I'm 32. So I'm crawling my way up towards being a boomer.
Eventually you'll be a boomer.
We're going to get there, boys.
I'm hoping all the boomers are dead before I'm a boomer. So that way...
Well, the boomer no longer
fucking millennials.
refers to the actual boomers.
I know.
Boomer is just like anybody.
I know.
I'm actually too young to be a millennial. If that's...
Yeah,
like,
you're
I'm
a
like
zoomer.
Barely a millennial.
You're a zoomer.
Yeah, he's a big zoomer.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what is that a zoomer?
Yeah, Gen Z.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because also millennials were Generation Y. Generation X's kids. Which my mom was all about with the leather jacket and listening to fucking Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and Gen X.
Nice.
Turn on my
I still
MTV.
fucking back that.
Hell yeah.
Oh
Hell
wait, okay. There's a question I had that I've been holding on to for like an hour now.
Yeah.
So you're into like, if I get this right, you have a lot of conversations about sexuality. What do you think about bestiality?
No.
Ooh, no, absolutely
Nope.
not.
What?
Never. No, never.
Why not?
What do you mean? Like, well,
Because there's
the animal,
always a
by
power
definition,
dynamic.
can't consent. Yeah.
What do you
absolutely.
mean?
Even in cases where Coco the gorilla could use sign language and be like, get over here, I want to give you a hand job. I think that the fact that you control her food supply and you control, like, all of these things mean that it's not real consent. You're talking to a slave.
Okay, but what
Absolutely.
if that wasn't the case? What if it was a wild rhino, right? There was a wild rhino, and you came up and you wanted to fuck it.
They don't
and you
have.
started fucking it.
They're not smart enough to consent. And as soon as you raise the bar up to like is smart enough, but also is alien. I'm sorry, that was where I was going. But
No,
also
but
is animal, then it's an alien. And like, if you want to fuck an alien, yeah, go for it.
So what I'm saying though is that like if the rhino had an issue with it, if he was upset in any way, he would just kill you, right? Or just like buck you off.
So you're
like,
I see what you're saying. That he can consent. Then as soon as you get handsy,
yeah, as soon as he's upset with you, then you're dead. So like if you fuck a rhino and he doesn't kill you or anything, then it's like, well, you didn't do any harm because he didn't mind.
Is that,
you're gonna? That's a good argument.
Is that not a gray area though, where you start to say then only things that are more powerful than you are able to consent?
Right. I mean that would be impossible to institutionalize.
Yeah, well, because now if I can intimidate a tiny, if I intimidate a tiny woman and I put my hand on her and I'm just like, this is happening, and she doesn't resist, did she consent?
Yeah, like no, like
no,
we know,
so,
like, but
yeah, no, I'm saying like if you were to fuck like a I don't know,
but you're saying
right?
if it was
That'd
like
fucked up.
A huge man and I did this, he could beat the shit out of me, and therefore the fact that he doesn't means that he consented. But then that's also saying that like
that he just didn't do anything about it means that he didn't have an issue with the situation, because otherwise he would have just beat the shit out of you.
So then,
it's so obvious.
But let's get into like the
other
issues with sex, like sexual manipulation.
You can't sexually manipulate an animal that doesn't like sex.
But
you're not.
But
also,
I think you already said the prerogative I'm going for. You can sexually manipulate an animal, and so
I think
you should,
by definition, can.
So you should not have sex with animals.
So I mean, if you can preconceive the idea of having sex with an animal, you've already manipulated the animal because the animal doesn't have that preconception.
Right. I can give the animal certain foods to make it cool and like pet it on the head every time I come in and slowly but surely work up to putting my dick in its butt and, you know, reduce the chance of it going wild. I could also probably threaten it. I control its food supply. You know, I beat it when it misbehaves.
Okay, so like,
but you said a wild, but like,
all of those stipulations are the things that is wrong, right?
Right.
But without those stipulations, I don't think that in essence it necessarily is wrong. Again, go back to the story of the rhino.
But you're saying it's only not wrong because the thing is bigger than you.
Okay, so can I just
because consent can be emitted or can be described by that animal based on whether or not it allows you to do it.
Yeah,
right?
So there's like a behavioral description of its consent. But I mean, so if
only in such
else,
a case that it's bigger than you.
Yeah, but I mean, otherwise it might just be scared. You wouldn't know.
If nothing else, this can't be institutionalized.
Right.
I mean,
I'm not claiming that it can. That's not the point of the.
No. I mean,
he's already ruled out any animals that are small.
Okay, but I've completely ruled that out. That's already done.
Yeah. So that's what's weird is that you're being very specific. So your question isn't, is it okay for you to have sex with animals? Because you've already said no. Some animals,
Is it
no.
sometimes okay?
Is it sometimes okay if the animal is big? If it's a dragon and it could kill you, but it just can't speak English.
Situation in which it is morally acceptable to have sex with an animal. That's my question.
I have to say yes.
I'm gonna say
rhino. I would have to say yes.
I'm gonna have to say yeah.
I don't want to say yes.
Dolphins
don't
rape
like that,
humans.
but it's like I really don't want to say yes.
But this is a question too. Okay, is it rape to come on to a mentally disabled person in the same way?
That's a good question.
Like
there was actually
like one that's stronger than you.
I'm
trying.
Yeah, right. Someone who cannot conceive of what we're talking about right now. It's not even just that they don't possess the same language, but let's say that they're so mentally handicapped they can't even possess language. They just get fed. They just eat and shit.
That's a good question. Okay, Isaac. So
I feel like,
if you don't mind, let me just like try to formalize it a little bit. So you have a mentally disabled person who is stronger than you, and if he doesn't want to have sex with you, he can resist it, and he'll be successful in resisting. Is it then ethical to have sex with that mentally disabled person? And if not, then you have to tell me how it's different.
In that situation, you're adding more complications. So
yeah,
in that scenario, you are enacting the possibility that you are feeding that person, you're giving that person something.
Say you're not. You're not. Okay, stipulate that we're not doing that.
Okay, so
you just met him on the street.
Yeah,
you met him on the street. Okay. Then I would say, so long as the person didn't oppose the situation, then it would be morally neutral.
Wow. Okay, that's really difficult.
I see that. I see what you're saying there, and I maybe from a different direction I can kind of devil's advocate what you're saying, and kind of say like it is a separate thing to say sex and the stimulation of sexual parts. So if I am just stimulating sexual parts on myself, and by stimulating the sexual parts of an animal, it's going to enjoy it. I mean, that's the sexual parts that's their point, is they bring. In fact, I know that this is an issue in rape sometimes, is that people still come because they're aroused, because that's what you're having all your erogenous zones hit. So if you do that to an animal, it's gonna, be aroused.
Yeah. So like, here's the other side of that. You know how we inseminate animals, right? We jack them off. I mean, horses, you grab a fake horse pussy and you jack them off. Is that wrong?
Well, no, because in that case, they literally consent. Like,
I think it is wrong.
They enact it.
I think it is wrong.
You are shoving it into their penis.
I mean,
they're not the ones doing it.
Yeah,
no, they mount it.
I don't.
Well, I've seen the. I don't know why.
I feel like the entire scenario is manipulated. This horse lives on my ranch. I feed it. Like, if this is a woman, like, there's the boat expectation, right? Like, you're out on a boat with me.
That horse has probably been trained. I bet you some dude jumped on that horse, and if the horse bucked him off, then he beat the shit out of that horse.
Right? Yeah.
A lot of good points there. So I mean, like that's manipulation.
To talk about. And that's why I'm coming around to like, are you manipulating the rhino because you're a human and you know when you're walking up to it, like, I'm gonna fuck this rhino, and the rhino just knows I'm gonna eat this grass. Hey, what's that shape on the horizon coming at me? Like, I feel
so would it be inappropriate to have like a heuristic? Like, so my heuristic for this would be, if something can't verbally consent, or by definition can't consent based on our human conception of consent, then it's wrong.
Yeah,
but
it depends on how we start to define consent, because with the broad term of consent starts to include, manipulation, grooming, weird things like that aren't consent.
It's actually this brings me back to a new Bill Burr bit, which you should watch. It just came out recently.
Someone else told me to watch Bill Burr bit.
Bill Burr was like, no does not always mean no. No means no. No, stop doing that. No. That means yes, but I'm too shy to tell you that I've done this 1,000 times with 1,000 other men.
That's a straight guy problem. I don't understand. You guys will have to tell me.
So I know a girl.
Enlighten me straight, boys.
This one, okay, and maybe she ruined it. And okay, fuck. I've been on both sides of this, okay? I literally had a girl, like, we hung out, we went on a date, we came back to my place. She was like laying backwards on my bed, and I like just sat down and was like talking to her, and then she went home and she's like, why didn't you do anything to me when I was on your bed? And I was like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to. And then I was really good friends with a girl who went over to hang out with one of my male friends, and he came on to her, and she was like, no, come on, we're friends. And he came on to her, 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 and finally she fucked him. And then she felt like she didn't really wanted to have fucked him afterward. She's like, he didn't rape me, he just got me to submit, basically. And that really kind of made me feel uncomfortable. Again, where I'm like, I don't know if what he did is technically against the rules, but I feel like it's against the spirit of the game here. Like,
yeah, okay. So can I bring like a woman's perspective in here real quick?
Yeah.
So, like you will use like cues to let people know that you want to have sex with them.
Right.
Like, so this is actually incredibly complicated areas. This is a incredibly complicated area.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not a woman, but as like a fake woman,
Mm-hmm.
like I won't ever just say like, hey, do you want to fuck me? Like that would never ever happen. So like it would be via like
such bullshit.
cues.
Right.
Yeah, it's bullshit, but like I never would.
Yeah.
Like in like even if like the most like enlightened like SJW like told me why I should always like it would be sexually incompatible with how I understand my sexuality
and with what you want.
Yeah. So I mean like that is incredibly complicated and like only for men. Like it's not really complicated for like women.
It's
like,
definitely
like
something
really
we have to
issue.
interpret. I went out on a date with a girl, and I pretty much tried to make clear that I was like, I would like to take you out on a date. And she was like, I'm going to be at this bar on Wednesday if you'd like to hang out. Okay, cool. So I swung by, we drank, we hung out. Bar's closing. Hey, I've got some beers back at my place. Want to go back to my place? Sure, let's go. All right. You know, and I take her back to my place. We're sitting on the couch next to each other, and I lean in to kiss her, and she goes, what are you doing? I'm like, wait, what? Oh, I kind of thought when you came back to my place that was the road we were going down, but I guess it wasn't. Okay. You know, and I got up off the couch, I moved to another chair, I tried to change the conversation. She left maybe 20 minutes later. I was like, sorry if I did anything inappropriate. I didn't realize what I didn't know.
Okay, but I mean, just like in case you don't know this already, you did the right thing.
I feel like I handled it correct. I at least handled it right. Yeah. Whatever signals I missed, I did what I was supposed to.
So if it were me, that would be a cue. Like if we want to go back to your place, that's a cue. To me, and for most women, that's a cue. Yeah. So like you did the right thing, and then just like immediately back off.
You know that there's actually a solid chance though that she wanted that she's in about half of all women are into rape fantasies. And so there's a solid chance that
we're going deep.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there with you. I'm going to stand firm on the other side of the valley on this one.
I'm saying you did the right thing.
Yes,
you did the right thing. Never assume somebody has a rape
fetish. Don't just start raping.
Okay,
people.
here's what I'm going to say.
That they have that fetish.
Throw this one out. I've never met.
That is what you. That is what you ran into.
I've never met anyone who didn't want to prearrange that fantasy.
That's fair.
I guarantee you that there is
a
non-trivial amount of the population.
I would not say near 50%, but I would say 50% of at least the women I've dealt with have wanted arranged rape-like fantasies, and that's
but that's less
different.
Real.
No, but I mean, okay, so
again, with the last girl, speak, sister.
A little bit.
No, so I mean, like, so ideally, you would actually prefer that, but for women, rape is a terrifying prospect. It's possible and it's terrifying.
So it makes it hot.
Well, no. So like, if they were on the same page, that
You're
it was a
you're
fantasy,
getting banned. You're getting
then that's one thing.
deplatformed.
Yeah, but if it were real rape, that would be completely different.
Right.
So it's
And
kind of a
that's
bit of
what
a-
I feel
but-
like if
but
if
women
we
do
didn't
would
arrange
prefer
this is
these types of
basically
women.
rape. Like, even if you gave me permission afterward, if you sent me every signal that you didn't want to do this, like even saying, yeah, I'll go home with you, and then saying, no, 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 and I just go through with it, and that's your fantasy, I've done the wrong thing. I should.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're right.
To be honest, I've always been really open and upfront. Like, I have terrible game. My move is literally just like, hey, do you want to fuck? Like, that is my only move. I never say like, hey, do you want to come to my place? Hey, do you want to hang out?
Yeah.
It's always, hey, do you want to fuck?
Yeah, no.
Wow.
Hey, do you want to come to my place?
That'll
Or hey,
never
let's
work.
chill. Like,
It's
for
worked
the
every
first
time.
question,
I've never failed.
it's worked 100% of the times he's asked, which
Got
means
lucky.
the
I
narrow
did get, like-
scenarios where he's like, now, hey.
All right, I'm gonna be honest. There's only been 3 so far.
Okay,
There's
well,
only been 3 women in my life.
well,
But every time it was just like, hey, you want to fuck? And they always said yes. So, hell, I mean, 3 out of 3, that's a pretty good ratio.
keep going.
Anecdotal.
Keep going. Keep
Yeah.
collecting data.
Keep trying.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
You need more, your sample size is too small. So, yeah, the last girl I was with, actually, to anecdote again, we discussed this, and I was like, I don't understand how to make this real enough for you, you know, without hurting you or fucking traumatizing you. Like, what do you want me to do here? How far do you want me to fucking go? You know, because she wanted
are you
it
talking
to,
about like the
like a rape
choking
scenario.
and
like a
Yeah.
full.
So she was into like a rape fantasy.
Like, she would make jokes about how she like would want me to kidnap her off the street and throw her in my trunk.
Wow, that's out
Okay.
there.
So it was like, okay,
No, that's not out there. That's
Right.
just like the first indication that somebody's into a rape
Right.
fantasy.
so it was like,
They want
okay,
you to drive up and then like put a bag over their head, throw her in your trunk.
They'll
and,
say
like,
it.
tie her up
They
and-
would say it in jest. You can correct me if I'm
She-
wrong. But
she
I know,
would fully
I know
want
women
that.
like the back of my hand.
she would fully
That's
want that.
crazy. I thought
She would
that,
say
So-
it in jest, but be serious about it. That's what I would.
Yes,
I'm not gonna lie,
yes.
I'm super
Say it
worried
in
about that
jest
type of shit.
and yeah.
Like,
So
I had a girl who wanted me to just choke and slap her, and I was like, nah. I
this
can't do
goes
that.
back
Like,
again to, why is this right? You're kind of in a good place here. Why is this okay, but race play is not? Isn't this
Wait,
reinforcing?
why is this okay and race play is not?
Right?
I
Isn't
don't
this?
believe I ever
Isn't
said
this?
that race play is wrong.
No,
Oh,
you didn't.
shit.
You didn't.
Oh,
I said.
fuck, that's a good point. That's
Yeah.
a really good point.
I don't believe I
actually.
ever said that race play was wrong. I don't
Yeah,
think
you
that it
didn't.
is.
I
You
did,
you've been
so
in a
I'm the one
middle
who has to be
ground
taking
the
a
whole
test.
time, Wheezy. You've been kind of in a middle
I-
ground the whole time. But yeah, this whole
Yeah,
thing kind
I
of comes
said-
back
I said
around to
no.
like
Can I
why?
throw my
Yeah.
2 cents? I think that race play and a lot of these things we've been speaking about,
Mhm.
it's not as though that they're wrong in and of themselves, but they're indicative of a personality or a situation that is wrong. They indicate that this person is probably going to do something that's wrong. I mean, if you were to do any, in my opinion,
There was
you can do
research done on
anything-
BDSM, and they found that they were
Yeah.
pretty stable people.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't
I'm
like
just saying-
it wasn't like most people with rape fantasies have been raped or anything like that. It just was like, or even are raped
Right.
or become rapists, or like it was no correlation.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh, regular
so, like,
people,
what I'm-
spin the wheel.
What
Sorry.
I'm saying is that like with race play in particular, I would imagine, and this is just speculation, that is indicative of something that is not healthy. Now, is it bad to do it in and of itself? I don't think so. No, I don't think that anything can be wrong unless harm is done. So if 2 people are enjoying anything, then it's fine. So long as it doesn't ever leak into or cause more harm in any other scenario. So if race play occurred in a vacuum, or
Right.
if it was the situation that it didn't affect them and it wasn't indicative of them being racist or anything, then it would be fine. I'm just skeptical on whether I am not really buying that somebody who's into race play doesn't have racist tendencies.
Exactly. So I mean, that's where I fall. Like, so in a vacuum, yes, it would be perfectly morally neutral,
Right.
but we don't.
And
There's no vacuums in sexual interactions
in the sandy
and
world
so
we
it would
live
be
in.
wrong.
Yeah.
Like it would end up leaking out of the bedroom. So
Yeah.
and so you just actually painted a really, really good challenge there. And I'm not
Sex
sure
is such a
I have to think
fun
about it.
area to challenge morality and morals because it's the fringe thing that just like doesn't get talked about in public. Like we've finally gotten past religion and politics at the dinner table, right? So I feel like next is sex. Come on, let's do it. And that's like that's another big thing we do talk about a lot on my channel is sex, because not only did I start my spree here from coming from Chatterbait, but it's something that I grew up in. A lot of the women I dated have been in that in one way or another. So like I've been on like every end of the industry in one way or another, and it's constantly something that will challenge your morality.
Fuck, that's hold on. I have to say, like, that's such a because like so with the race thing, I thought that like that was open and shut. Like I thought my opinion is definitely that that's immoral and should not happen even between two consenting adults. But the parallel with sexism with
right,
women's like subconscious role in society, like what they've internalized, is exactly the same thing. So
and that's
that's
so
really good.
popularly accepted in BDSM communities that like women are okay with playing submissive roles, but does that not? So this is something I asked. I did an interview with a life coach who specializes in sex therapy and does her coaching fully nude, and tries to get you to be fully nude while she coaches you because she feels like you'll be more vulnerable and open up.
Is she hot?
Not to me. She wasn't my type.
I mean, this and it wouldn't work for me. It'd be like, girl, like our breast size.
Wait,
like,
I gotta know. Like, did you ask the question like, "Hey, is it cool if I'm fully erect?
Is
like,
it cool if I'm fully hard right now?" She'd probably be like, "If you are horny, then that's fine." Like she's very, very open. So I said, if my fetishes are problematic to society in one way or another, should I try and abandon these fetishes?
Oh, one of these.
Or is it okay for me to try and find someone to fulfill them with? And she was like, what do you mean? What's an example? And at the time, I didn't have as good of examples, and I'm building up everyone I can. But I used myself, and I was like, because of my upbringing around strippers and penthouse pets and Playboy bunnies, am attracted to girls in high heels with big implants and long, fake hair and spray tans, like that very toxic image of what a woman should be, the magazine image of what a woman should be. Is my searching for that not validating something negative about society? Should I say, this is bad and problematic, and I should actively fight against my desire for that type of woman? Or are we not to be judged for our desires even by ourselves? And therefore I should search endlessly for like a good safe space to play with that. That's all.
I have an alternative I want to throw out there.
Mm-hmm.
Sexual desire is among the 3 necessities, right? I mean, there's like food, water, sexual desire, right? That's it. And basically nutrition, safety, and sex. That is the 3 most basic things that humans need, right?
Yeah.
So is it wrong for you to be hungry when other people are also hungry? I mean, no,
right.
It's not.
Right.
So if you're attracted to something that maybe is of low, there's not a lot of them, and some people are gonna feel bad because of the fact that you want that. That's not your fault.
No, but this is what the majority of people want. We're assuming that this is a socially constructed thing.
Right. I'm starting from the position of society constructed something negative in me. Should I work at getting rid of that?
You're
so
starting from the position that you think that it can be changed, that your sexuality can change. In
I'm
other
questioning
words,
that.
for instance,
or that
I'm
or that
opening with that
or
question.
that society's image of women could change
for
and
instance,
should change.
if you can change what you are sexually attracted to,
That's what I'm
then
asking.
potentially the Christians were right in saying that gay people could just become straight because you can change what you're sexually attracted to.
So if I can't,
That's not true. I've been through conversion therapy.
So
see, I don't buy
if you can't,
I think you're attracted to what you're attracted to.
Right. Then we start to say other problematic things like pedophiles.
No, I mean, so pedophiles, I think we should talk about that. We should
yeah,
put a pin in that.
I agreed with you earlier. It's closer to an orientation because I don't think that they can.
Yeah,
I don't think conversion therapy is going to work for them.
That.
Yeah. Next time.
But I think sexuality in general has some play in the joints. So I mean, if you're sexually attracted to somebody who's 15, I think you may be able to deconstruct that and figure out how to be attracted to somebody who's 18. I think that's probably pretty possible.
I think that's a silly statement.
So for your example, so like you're attracted to like the archetypal image of a hot woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's some play in that joint, which is not exactly analogous to like pedophilia. So I think pedophilia is a whole different beast.
I don't know why we went there.
So it's just contrasting. So
right. From light gray to total black.
I think there's
like
play
basically
in that
saying like, if I can't change my interests, can anyone change their interests? Let's jump to the worst interest possible. Can that be changed? But
I believe that you cannot change what you're sexually attracted to.
I think you can to some extent.
I see what Fetchis is saying too, where it's like bending on both sides. Right. Like I can look for someone who is further toward that, and I can settle a little more, and we can kind of meet in the middle. Like I don't get exactly what I want, but yeah.
For instance, I like skinny women.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand women who have more than about 10 to 15% body fat. That's too much for me.
Yep.
And but I can I would love a nice ass and big tits.
Nope.
But I'm fine with not having those.
Can't have both those on the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll settle. It's fine. Like just a skinny girl, she doesn't need to have the best ass in the world or the best tits in the world. Whatever. But like that's my thing, and it's like, well, if I could have the perfect version, that would be awesome. But I will settle for pretty much just a generally skinny woman, right? I believe that is something you can do. You can settle. You can say, hey, this is what I like. You're along that line and you're attainable. That's what you can do. But I don't think that you can be like, so bad, I'm into skinny women. I don't think that I can be into skinny women and then all of a sudden be like, nope, I'm going to change my mind. I'm into fat bitches. Like, I don't think that's fucking possible.
Force yourself to be with someone.
That's the play in the joints that I'm describing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think that if you have a sufficient reason to try to reform some aspect of your sexuality, or like a reason that is worthy of doing, I think that's possible, but only to a certain extent.
Right.
I think we're kind of saying the same thing. You're just
we kind of
we're
all
kind of on that same angle.
Also, I apologize for calling women bitches. I'm a bit drunk.
Don't do that.
Did you? Please. I didn't even hear that you did.
Yeah,
I didn't either.
I've been around people who've done it so many times that I'm just like, I only call them bitches because I don't know their names individually. Yes.
I exist in man culture, so I mean, like, really I'm pretty used to it.
It's just, you know, probably not the nicest thing to just generally call women bitches.
No,
probably not.
No, probably not.
It's not.
Probably not the best.
It'd be like if they called us all dicks. But I've really enjoyed our talk. I think I need to kind of start wrapping it up because I'm gonna have to go pick up a friend from the airport in a little bit here, and I wanna kind of wind down.
Really?
In a little bit, yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, I got you.
But I've really enjoyed this. I'd really like to talk again soon.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, like, this has actually been really fun.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect, but I've really enjoyed this conversation.
So far, you're my favorite person that we've talked to.
Yeah, me too. I've not talked to very many people. I have people in my Discord that
Yeah,
are
we've
cruel. I
only
don't
had,
want to
like-
disparage them. I'm like looking over. I'm like, wait, guys, I don't mean you. I'm cooler than Destiny. Remember it.
Well, you're less nerve-wracking than Destiny, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But,
well,
I mean,
I
like,
don't know.
you legitimately, but you're cool, and you've presented some like very legitimate challenges. Like, I have to think about that now. Like, next time we talk, if we talk again, I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have like an
fuck.
answer to like the dichotomy of like sex fantasy versus like race, like disparagement or
And
race
tell me
humiliation.
how
and
social
I don't
contract
know.
with aliens is going to work out. How
Oh
you
fuck!
use
We
social
put a pin in that,
contract?
and we never took the pin out of that.
Yeah, no, that
Gabe,
one still has a
Pin's
pin.
gonna have to stay in there.
Are we gonna
Oh, it
stay
stays
until?
right in there, buddy?
So
How-
not
what's your-
so
is it- you gotta
Zalty
leave
is
right now?
No, I've got a few. I just want to say real quick, not so Zalty gamer says that he knows you. That he watched you guys play RuneScape. So we found
I know,
someone.
not so salty.
So we found
I'm sorry.
someone who knows us both.
Yeah.
No, actually, on my side, there's like quite a few people who are like, "Oh yeah, I
Oh,
follow both of you."
Okay, cool.
But sorry,
Oh.
yeah, not so salty. Follow Mr.Bones. He's fucking dope,
does.
as
We
you've
talk.
seen in this
We talk.
conversation.
Salty.
We're buddies.
We call him Salty. Yeah, we
Yeah.
have nicknames for everybody.
Yep.
You want to hear something funny? So like,
Yes.
Nacho Dragon. If you have to leave like immediately at any time to something though.
Okay.
So we have like Nacho Dragon is like our main like fucking dude that we like hang out with.
Mhm.
He like upgraded. At first he was Nacho, but like he's like god tier at everything. Like he's like amazing at RuneScape and like all games. So like he upgraded to Dragon. Like he upgraded to like the ladder of
Dragon
his name.
God.
I might have him on RuneScape though. Maybe.
Oh,
It's
shit.
possible.
Shit.
Although he's Diamond 2 on League, so
Fuck
That
that
takes
shit.
fucking years.
That's just effort that I can't do it. I am only
He's top
competitive at
1%.
Magic, and I can't adopt any more into my life. It's too full.
he's top 1% in League.
I thought he was just like a fan
that
dude,
shit.
but he's like a fucking god.
Yeah.
That shit.
Also,
dude.
he's amazing at chess. I
This
played
is-
chess against him on stream, and he fucking destroyed me somehow.
Fucking killing
He's
it.
good at everything. There's nothing he isn't good at.
Nacho, if you're in chat, fuck off.
Fuck.
And he's like 22 like me. I don't know how he had the time.
Fucking don't know.
Some people's brains just have more ripples than ours, and they can just do more things.
Fuck.
Not all people
That's
are
not what I
equal.
want to say, but
I am so.
Damn,
Here's
that's
something.
true.
Here's something about me.
Oh, I love you
Here's
too.
my
That is
my fucking
hard
worst take. I am so intellectually ableist.
oh shit.
Where
me too.
where
What do you mean by ableist? Wait, when do you have to leave? Because we have
Yeah,
to close
yeah,
this conversation if you have to leave
I've got
immediately.
like 10
But
more
we'll
minutes
put a
to
pin
chat.
in it.
I can like chit chat for like 10 more minutes. So I feel like maybe stupid people shouldn't be allowed to vote. Maybe stupid people shouldn't be allowed to breed. Maybe stupid people shouldn't be allowed to a lot of things. And then I'm also on the
You're
other
all
hand, I'm like
Digital.
did I go full digital? I see on my screen.
Yeah, we
I
can't hear you.
Full digital alchemist. Is that the end of our stream then? Oh, wait, it looks like I might be back.
It's
I see you
it's
guys all
freezing,
crystal
too.
clear now.
might be on our end.
It might be time.
Well,
but
hey, yeah,
It's time.
it's been
Okay.
awesome having you.
Thank
But-
you guys.
If it is time, unless you like start clearing up in the next couple of seconds, when I get my fucking computer,
Yes.
this won't happen probably.
Okay. I'm seeing that I'm getting 54 ms, so I think it's me. Something happened. I don't know. All right. Boys, I love
Still
you
can't
guys.
hear you, buddy.
Okay. You can't hear me?
If you can
That
try to fix
sucks.
something real quick,
I don't even know.
but if you have to pick someone up at the airport, obviously, like that's
what
important.
to even try and fix here. You know
We
what?
actually got to
Can
go soon too. I got work in the morning.
No, I can't do that. That's not how it works. Okay.
Oh, you're back.
Oh wait, you're back.
Hi.
You're gone again.
Can you hear me?
Kinda.
Okay.
Vaguely, yeah.
Well, then I'll just say goodbye. I've really enjoyed this. We'll meet up again soon, okay?
Yeah. So, okay, everybody in my chat, all of you guys, Dragon, Salty, follow Nacho Bone. I mean,
Nacho Bones.
Nice.
follow Mr. Bones.
Yeah.
Twitch Mr. Bones on Twitch. He's fucking badass. He's cool.
If you
We
don't
like him.
follow Mr. Bones bones your mama. So
Yes,
fucking
you don't want
show
that
up.
to happen. So
She'll think I'm cute.
You don't even want to think about it.
I get along very well with people's moms. She'll be like, "Oh, that Mr. Bones fellow is such a gentleman."
you're very sweet. I love you.
Yeah.
You guys have been
I hope
very
to have you on
sweet.
again.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Love you guys. I'll talk to you again soon, okay?
All right. See you
Bye.
later.
Alrighty.
Let's see. Can we get the camera to work? I have to deactivate and then activate. There we go. Okay. That was fun. Wasn't that fun, guys? I enjoyed myself.